Shabbat Shalom, call halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rekah Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them, that taught us his truth. And Shabbat Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. Shabbat Shalom and salutations to all the Aqua listening and learning, being a pillar of rest. I'm the brother Yahshua back with a WW3 Daily update. Shabbat Shalom and salutations to you as well. Going to start right here. Oh, and by the way, today is War and Rumors of War Tuesday, right? But we're going to kind of sidestep that and get into something that looks a little more solid than just rumors. But War and Rumors of War are still jumping off. But yeah, Joel 3 and 12, King James, let the heathen be wakened, right? And this heathen means troops called to arms. What does it mean to be called to arms? Talk about your military. Let the heathen be wakened, wake up the mighty men, and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. Means God, Yahweh, Shaphat meaning judgment. God's judgment. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. So they're being led, okay, into an ambush. The Most High is ambushing the nations. Okay? Let all the nations be roused. Let them advance into the valley of Yehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the nations on every side. Let the nations be called to arms, your military, army. Okay? Let's see. Okay, so we're in the time of judgment. And this is basically, he's saying this is World War III. Okay? And punish, for there will I sit to judge and punish. What's your punishment? First, we're going to judge you guilty. Now, what's the punishment? Okay? All of this together. The Gentiles, right? The natural Gentiles, not the Israelites in this situation. Judge the surrounding nation. Where is it? God's judgment. Where is that? The valley of, where is it? Yehoshaphat, Yehoshaphat. You must now come to the judgment valley where the Lord will judge. Okay? The judgment valley, the valley of judgment, valley of Jehoshaphat, right? The valley of judgment. Good news, Salakia. The nations must get ready and come to the valley of judgment. Okay? The valley of judgment, Yehoshaphat, or Jehoshaphat, whatever, however you want to say it, means the same thing in this situation. Now, I found this, right? I'm like, I need something. And CBN News provided, I think it's Christian Broadcast Network, Mideast troop builder. There's the Valley of Yehoshaphat right there. Another way to say the Valley of God's judgment is to say the Middle East, because that's where it's going to go down, right? Iran, Syria, all of that area is the valley, that's the Middle East, right? The valley of Yehoshaphat. So this is the prophecies coming to pass right here. So let's listen to this. An hour ago, news on the 700 Club today. Take it away.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the 700 Club. I'm Andrew Knox in for Gordon today. More than 3,000 U.S. Marines arrived in the Middle East this week. Their mission to help deter...
Their mission is to be gathered in the valley of... All right? This is the gathering.
Arrived in the Middle East this week. Their mission to help deter Iran from seizing and interfering with merchant ships in the Strait of Hormuz.
The troop deployment is part of a growing U.S. military presence in the region. And after 2 years of attempts at diplomacy, the Biden administration is now making a strong show of force. National security correspondent Caitlin Burke reports. While the U.S. may not be directly involved in any major regional conflict, tensions with Iran are only increasing. The Islamic regime continues to launch attacks on a key shipping route, in addition to ramping up its nuclear program. Escalations that now demand a renewed American presence in the region.
The best way to avoid war is strength. Reagan said it best: peace through strength.
Thousands of Marines, backed by U.S. fighter jets and warships, are deploying to the Persian Gulf, a display of military might that's long overdue, according to Nathan Sales, former ambassador at large and coordinator for counterterrorism in the Trump administration.
What Iran has seen so far from the administration is one after another episodes of turning the other cheek. That's a great way to live your life as a private citizen and as a Christian. That's not a great way to run foreign policy.
The latest slap involves the regime increasing its pattern of harassing and seizing ships traveling through the Strait of Hormuz, the waterway that more than 20% of the world's oil must pass through. With Iran now closer than ever to weapons-grade uranium levels, the Biden administration has finally admitted efforts to revive a nuclear deal are done, and that option is no longer on the table.
Meaning that it's on its way. Okay? With every hour and every day that passes, the closer we get to these missiles actually doing what they were designed to do. Okay?
I think the important question for us to be asking the White House is, what took you so long? It's not as if Iran has been dramatically worsening its behavior lately. This is all par for the course.
Worsening their behavior? Iran? As in bomb, bomb, bomb? Bomb, bomb Iran? What about Persia? Isn't Iran, isn't that ancient Persia? So then, when you speak in terms of the Persian Gulf, who does it belong to? And what you say about their behavior in the Persian Gulf, right? That's their land, it's their waters, got their name on it, and you change the name.
Longer on the table.
I think the important question for us to be asking the White House is, what took you so long? It's not as if Iran has been dramatically worsening its behavior lately. This is all par for the course.
Meaning, you're not acting the way we told you to act with your land. You're not doing what we told you to do with your natural resources, so we're coming to get... Hey, guess what? This is beautiful. This is how close we are to Judgment Day. Okay?
We've looked the other way for a good 2.5 years.
You hear that shit? How pompous and arrogant and prideful of this damn devil. It's not your land. It's not your waterway. Pay the toll and shut the fuck up.
Along with this military show of force, Gabriel Nerona, former State Department Special Advisor for Iran, says the administration is still offering Iran concessions, giving the regime an impression that it holds the leverage in nuclear negotiations.
They're gathering in the valley of Yehoshaphat. Look at this.
Still offering Iran concessions, giving the regime an impression.
That. Okay? This ain't going nowhere. Right, the last battle, the Battle of Armageddon, is going to be where? Armageddon is right there in the Valley of Yehoshaphat.
That it holds the leverage in nuclear negotiations.
The State Department is still trying to negotiate something where they give sanctions relief to Iran in exchange for Iran pausing its enrichment or doing a little bit less there.
Nerona tells CBN News that while China may be the administration's top priority,
There's China. Okay? China is in bed with Russia. Persia, Russia is being a guard unto Persia, Iran. Where's this going?
The U.S. response to Iran could make a major difference in how Beijing moves forward.
If the United States sets a red line over Iranian nuclear activity, that better be something that we're willing to actually enforce, because the results, if we don't enforce that red line, could be a completely green light to China to go and invade Taiwan.
Lucky. Watch a little bit more of this.
Since the beginning of the year, we've also seen an increase in joint military exercises between the U.S. and Israel. Naruna and Ambassador Sales believe this sends a message of unity and support to allies in the region, while hopefully enabling them to step out and take on a larger role themselves. Andrew?
Caitlin, thanks for reporting on this. What about this situation in particular? How serious is this situation in the Strait of Hormuz right now?
Andrew, since 2019, there have been a series of attacks on shipping vessels traveling in the Strait of Hormuz. And with such a large U.S. presence there now, the problem clearly isn't getting better. In response to the military buildup in the Persian Gulf, Iran has basically told...
In the what? In the Persian Gulf, then you use the name Iran. How come it's not the Iran Gulf? Because Persia and Iran are the same entity. You're calling it the Persian Gulf. We got to call it the Persian Gulf so that we can do what the fuck we want to do up in there. And you're wondering why Iran is mad. Because Iran is Persia. You see this devil? Slick talking. That's called deception.
There have been a series of attacks on shipping vessels traveling in the Strait of Hormuz.
Because you're in our waters. You do what we say in our water. You don't tell us what the hell to do in the Persian Gulf. We're Persia. We own this shit. It's got our name on it.
And with such a large U.S. presence there now, the problem clearly isn't getting better.
The problem is you're on somebody else's land and water. And that's the problem. So now you got to go to war because you're out stealing and forcing people to bend to your will. Now they want to fight back. And it's their fault?
In response to the military buildup in the Persian Gulf, Iran has basically...
Persian, Iran. Same. You hear this? The hypocrisy. The pride of this devil.
In response to the military buildup in the Persian Gulf, Iran has basically told the U.S. to mind its own business. But you have to remember that we have an interest there. The Strait of Hormuz is the world's most important oil shipping route. Ships have to pass through there to get oil out of the Middle East, and about 17 million barrels a day go through.
Did you hear that? America's way over here. She's telling people what to do in their land, way over there. How long? Okay? Until you have to fight. Well, guess what time we're in?
So ultimately, that accounts for 20 to 30% of the world's oil consumption. Along with sending the 3,000 soldiers to the Gulf that are there now, the White House is also talking about putting armed sailors and merchant marines on commercial ships. So this is definitely something that is being taken seriously.
Yeah, different approach by the administration. And they tried to bring back the Iran nuclear deal, as your report mentioned. That failed. Is it possible that Iran could already have a nuclear weapon?
Well, we know that diplomatic efforts are ongoing in some way, but according to a recent U.S. intelligence report, no, Iran...
No, they don't have it. Let's see what the Bible says, okay? We'll cut it right there. If you want to watch the rest of this, we almost made it halfway through. A lot of information there, but I'm going to just, in the interest of time, I'm going to try to keep it short. So let's see what the scriptures say on this, okay? How you're sending soldiers over to fight against who? Persia, yeah? Fighting against old Persia, right? In the Persian Gulf. What's the name of Iran? Persia. See what the scriptures say about Persia and whether they have a bomb or not, okay? Or does it even matter if they have a bomb? Ezekiel, back to 38. Here we go. Okay. Ezekiel 38:2. Son of man, set your face against Gog of the land of Magog. Who's that? That's Russia. Okay. Now, this is dealing with the Russian military machine and how strong it is and how dominant it is in the area. Okay? It says, I will turn you around. This is the Berean standard, but I will turn you around, right? And put hooks in your jaws and bring you out with all your army. Control you. This is what the Most High is saying. I'm going to control your actions, Russia. Here's what you're going to do. Your horses, your horsemen, in full armor, your army, and a great company armed with shields and bucklers, all brandishing their swords. Get your army together, right? Persia, that's Iran. Okay. Persia, Cush, and Put will accompany them. What? Okay, so first of all, this is saying that Iran is on Russia's side. That's what that says. Persia, Cush, and Put will accompany them. Work accompany together, all with shields and helmets, as well as Gomer with all its troops. And Beth Togarmah from the far north with all its troops. And here's where China falls in. The many nations with you. And many people will go up, advancing like a thunderstorm. You and all your troops and many people with you. Those are the other nations. Okay? It says, in order to seize and spoil and carry off the plunder, to turn a hand against the desolate places now inhabited, and against a people gathered from the nations who have acquired livestock and possessions. See, these other nations are joined with them. See, Persia, Iran will accompany, and these you got Gomer, which is Turkey, Togarmah, which is Syria, and the ones that it didn't name by name. Okay? You and all your troops and many people with you will go. Right? So, it ain't looking good. All right? Here, again, Iran is with Russia. Okay? And down here, we have, okay, let's read this. Ezekiel 38:7. Get ready. This is talking to Russia. Get ready, prepare yourself. You and all your company gathered around you. Who's gathered? Iran. You will be their guard. Now we have Russia on the side of Iran. Okay? What does this mean? You will be their guard. Right? Prepare yourself. It says, get ready, prepare yourself. You and all your company gathered around you. Prepare yourself and you prepare you and your allies. What does that mean? It means this. Okay? Beat your plowshares. This is Joel 3:10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. That means get your weapons. Make your weapons. Russia mobilized months ago. They were making tanks like it ain't nothing. Then it says, okay, get your weapons. Let the weak say I am strong. What does that mean? Just like America is sending weapons to the Ukraine, do you think that Russia ain't sending weapons to its allies, namely Persia, which is Iran? Iran is like this. Oh, we're strong now because Russia just gave us a bunch of nukes, as though we didn't have our own. Here's the making of the nukes right here. This is the making of them. Beat your plowshares into swords. Swords, missiles are likened unto swords. The glittering, what is the glittering sword? And your pruning hooks into spears, not Brittany. Spears, weapons. Give them weapons to Persia or North Korea or whoever needs them, because you're preparing for you and those gathered together with you, so that they can say they're as strong as, right, as the superpower itself. Plus they're guarding them, okay? So they do have bombs. They have, it says, get ready, prepare yourself. You and, right? You got to prepare you, get your bombs together, and give some to your homies, because you're guarding them. What does it mean? What was the first thing that Vlad did? He said, I'm sending these missiles over to Belarus. What is that? I'm sending these nuclear weapons to Belarus. Well, Belarus is many nations with him. With who? With Gog, with Russia. Okay? And what did Russia do with Belarus? They sent them nukes over there. Did they not? Russia. What? 3 months ago, 2 months ago, Russia sends nukes to Belarus. Belarusian. Right? What comes up and how long ago? 1 month ago. Belarus takes delivery of Russian what? Nuclear weapon. So Russia ain't sending nuclear weapons to Iran. America is sending whatever the fuck they're sending to Ukraine. Does it make sense? Belarus takes delivery of Russian nuclear weapons. They're not sending nuclear weapons to and guarding, being a guard unto Persia, like it says right here. They're not doing that. Of course they are. So when this crazy war and rumors of war dumb idiot tries to say, I don't know if it's coming back up, tries to say that Iran or Persia doesn't have a nuclear weapon, that doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense when Russia is clearly arming their allies. Russia sent nuclear weapons to Belarus as a warning to NATO. They're not sending Iran. Iran is sending drones to Russia. What is Russia sending to Iran? Iran. Remember Iran shot down or took control of the Predator drone long time and then reproduced it and started mass producing it? Iran sends drones. Look at that. See how it just comes up to Russia? See how? Iran sends troops to Crimea to teach Russians how to fly them drones that we gave you. White House says Iran, this is a year ago, will send drones to Russia. How long has this war been going on? February 2022, if I'm not mistaken, maybe a little after that. Iran admits sending drones to Moscow. Like Predator drones, like, you know what I'm saying? Weapons before Russia-Ukraine war started. So Russia ain't sending Iran nothing. They don't want you to know that. They'll tell you that they're sending nukes to Belarus, but they ain't saying that, because they need to be able to lie to you. Iran almost has a weapon. We got to go over there and put a first strike. They almost have it. Of course they have. Many. Russia's on their side. All right. And this is how you break down lies with the scriptures. Russia is being a guard. You will be their guard. Look at that. Keep all, look at this. What does it mean to be mobilized? Keep all the armies around you mobilized and take command of them. So this is telling Russia to take command of the Persians. You're on our side, just listen to me. Here's the plan. Mobilized. Let's see. We're going to look that up too. And be prepared, you and all your contingents that are assembled. Hordes. Assembly. Who have been mobilized around you. So keep your troops prepared to fight. What the hell does that mean? What does it mean to be prepared? Well, you need some ammo, nigga, you're out. You will be their leader. Huh. That says it all right there. To protect you. Let's see. Mobilization, let's look that up real quick. French protests. I don't have a, let's see, connection. Get right here. Military mobilization. Definition, I should have put definition. Same thing, huh? Okay, it says military mobilization involves the assembling and organizing of national military resources. Well, who has the most nukes on the face of the earth? Russia. Well, what resources? Well, we have wheat and we have nuclear weapons. Do you need some, Persia? It says military mobilization involves the assembling and organizing of national military resources. You see that? That is, active or reserve forces to support a nation's defense or strategic objectives. Oh, here we go, right here. Mobilization is the act of assembling and readying military troops and supplies for war. Mobilize those around you. What does it mean to mobilize? Supplies, you need them supplies, don't you? What supply? We need them nukes like Belarus. Mobilization is the act of assembling and readying military troops and supplies for war. Includes, look at this, includes the procurement, what does that mean? And training of manpower for military purposes. Okay. And for that matter, the scriptures liken the missiles unto an army. Okay? The act of assembling and organizing national resources to support national. How do you support? Right now, the U.S. is supporting Ukraine. How? By sending them weapons. You think that all they're sending is tanks and helicopters? Outdated tanks and helicopters? No. This is world war. Okay? Anyway, so mobilization. Where did we see that? Where was it? We saw it. It's supposed to jump in my face right now. Hordes, armies, mobilize. Get ready, be prepared. Keep all the armies around you mobile. What does it mean, keep them mobilized? Sending them weapons, supplies. Read it one more time. Okay. Keep all the armies around you mobilized, take command of them. Keep them mobilized. What does mobilize mean? Mobilization is the act of assembling and readying military. So Russia is readying the troops of Persia or Iran and supplying them. Troops and supplies. I'm readying your troops. Oh, you need some uniforms? You need some AKs. You need a couple of Kalashnikovs? Or how about, do you need a couple of these missiles? We got plenty. Now you're strong, right? Now you're strong. Here's the weapons. Beat your plowshares into swords. Modern day sword is the gun, the missile, an AK, a nuke, and your pruning hooks into spear. Gardening tools into weapons. Persia, Iran don't have a nuke. Well, you do now. Now you're strong. All right, so with that, we hope that the elect were edified. You brothers and few sisters with that, Shabbat Shalom.